So another week and another vlog, and again I'm outside. I just love being outside. You know, we spend so much time indoors writing grants or doing any sort of computer based work. So it's nice to be out here, and I'm here with the galahs. Can you see the galahs? Some of them are being in bed right now, so we shan't be distracted by that. But in all seriousness, I actually do have something very serious to discuss today that I feel like needs now a public address. This week, once again, a complaint was submitted about me personally to our registration board, AHPRA. Fortunately though, AHPRA threw it out pretty much straight away. The case is closed. I didn't even need to answer for it. It all comes down once again to health practitioners who are just very unhappy with my statements that I made on social media about the current state of the evidence of what works, what the research has shown not to work, or where there's no research whatsoever. And unfortunately, that has made its way to AHPRA, which I think is just actually a tremendous waste of time to have to process all this information and just to be able to talk about, despite the overwhelming evidence that we currently have. Now, these statements aren't my personal statements. They're actually based on thousands of researchers over decades of work that have led us to this point now where we can summarise the current state of the evidence. And that is just important to be able to communicate that. Now, to the health practitioners who decide to remain anonymous through a lot of this, rather than have a robust and adult conversation about it, as researchers, we can't stay anonymous about any of the statements we make. In fact, every single statement we make needs to be backed by the weight of science. It needs to be referenced. Everything that is published needs to be highly critiqued through peer review. It's often reanalyzed. All our data is made available before it's even disseminated. And this is a really important process. In fact, in addition to that, we always have to declare our conflicts of interest, whether they're personal or financial. And this is because transparency is key. If we don't do this, we miss the mark. And for us, for me, making statements like this as a researcher is just important because my job is to put information out there. It's to make information that's available to me as a researcher for public consumption. And for us as an organisation, making these statements means transparency about what it is that we decide what we want to do. Now, to the health practitioners who have been dissecting every statement we make on social media, well, I encourage you to read it for yourself. Read the evidence and the science for yourself. The science has in fact moved on, and we can't ever assume that one particular therapeutic approach or brand will remain relevant forever, nor will it meet the needs of all of our children. Now, I've always said that informed choice is a good choice. To make an informed choice though, you have to have information. You have to know what's effective, what isn't effective, what hasn't had any research to it just yet. And for a small minority to try to silence science being communicated does a disservice to this. It is so important that we can communicate this. And to communicate science shouldn't be controversial. It just should be something that we're able to do. So to the health practitioners who've remained anonymous, and I will not name them, even though I do know their identities, I'll just say this. Any further antagonistic behaviour or collusional practices will just simply not be tolerated. In fact, it will be reported and any formal action will be taken. But I have to really thank all our collaborations of health professionals and researchers locally here, across Australia and around the world. I'm so grateful for their support in our stance in evidence-based practices. I'm so grateful for the families who've come forward to say, look, I really appreciate the information and we want more information. Can you keep communicating this with us? And I'm really happy to continue to do that. So let's be civil, let's be professional, and let's do right by our community, because our children, our young adults, our families, they actually truly deserve that from us. That's all from me for now. I'll talk to you guys again next week.